Europe's mad dash towards net zero is effectively economic suicide. Politicians are purposely impoverishing ordinary people.
You need to bankrupt the machine. You need to stop feeding the machine, aka the government, the capitalists, the money for them to keep killing people.
And we must dream these evil monsters out of existence.
Well, hello there. How are you going today? Hope everything is fine and dandy in your little part of the realm. And it's time again to have a wander through the strange realm we find ourselves in.
One of the biggest reasons I think they whited out the skies were because of airships. Take a look at this bird's eye view drawing from 1855 of New York. This is just one of many depictions of airships long before their time. Depictions that go back thousands of years, like the flying Vimana in India. Heck, you didn't even need a mooring station for some of these airships. You could just drop a ladder. But it's not just artistic depictions we have of airships. What we do see is the infrastructure already long in place, and quite advanced tech for the day, with mooring stations being able to be put up anywhere, from the middle of nowhere, to the middle of the water, to the most cold remote place, and to many of the structures. The cities were all built for airships, with mooring stations all around. All those empty bell towers now. It is also why some of the most extravagant architecture could be built on some of the most remote areas of this realm. It is why we had detailed maps of places like Antarctica hundreds of years before they say Antarctica was discovered. It's because traveling to Antarctica on an airship would have been a breeze. But we are told one false flag grounded these ships. But in fact, I still think they're flying around today. Think of those cigar-shaped UFOs hidden high up in the skies. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
Airships, yes. Vanilla skies, we've asked the question for a long time. Are vanilla skies there to white out the airships? And we have these towers everywhere, right? There's pictures of, as we saw, of airships moored to them. So it looks like there was infrastructure built for airships. And the question is, do they still have them? Are they the cigar-shaped UFOs that we used to hear so much about? Is that what's going on? Are they still using them? Are they using them to get to outer lands? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts.
You can be black, white, Chinese, it doesn't matter what you are. We are all so similar. We don't want to interfere in other people's business. We don't want to go around the world killing people. We have governments that go around killing people in our name. We don't want to kill people. I've toured the world extensively. I've been to many countries. And one thing I've noticed is that everywhere I go, people are like me. They want to love, be loved. They want to live a happy and fulfilling life. They don't want to be told what to do. They don't want people to interfere, they just want to get on with their lives. Today, governments have got so huge, they're like a cancer. They've grown and grown and grown. And every time government gets bigger, individual freedom gets smaller. You may not have noticed it, but now that I'm pointing it out, think about it. Are you paying a lot of tax? Of course you are. You're paying a fortune. You're working day and night to earn enough to pay for the things you need, but a huge chunk of what you earn goes in taxes. What are they doing with those taxes? Yes, you know full well what they're doing with those taxes. They're doing awful things. They're buying munitions, going out and killing people. They're poisoning your water supply. They're doing all sorts of things that are terrible. And what can you do about it? Nothing. You and me, we're like ants. We're like ants. We're so microscopic, we feel powerless. But I tell you what, we're not powerless. You and me, just you and me, can change the world. We have the power to wake everybody up to this situation and to change it. We're so lucky to live in the information age. There was a time when, unless you got covered in the newspapers and on the television, that nobody would listen to you. Well, I'm no celebrity. As I say, you've never heard of me. And I don't know you. But after these few minutes of talking to you, you will know me. And you'll know what makes me tick. And I have a feeling that you are the same as me. You want to be loved. You want to love. You want to do the things without the things that you love. Whether it be gardening, football, fishing, it doesn't matter what. You want to do it without somebody telling you how to do it, or telling you you have to have a license, or you've got to sit a test. Everything you do is getting regulated. And you, like me, are probably getting sick of this. Well, there's something we can do about it. Because most people say, oh, we can't do anything about it, we might as well just forget it. Well, don't forget it. We together can make a huge difference.
Yes, I agree. We are ultimately the ones who are creating reality, right? So we can recreate it, or create something different. The reason there's so much emphasis on things like education and music, film, all these kind of things, experts, is to program us, to make us believe that the world that these parasitic elites want is going to happen. And, if we believe it and we see it, we help create it. So we can help create something different as well. And I think this is the main thing, is we have to understand we are powerful, and pretty much everyone is just like you. I know the whole 2020 thing has put a big division, and of course they're trying to divide more and more with the Trans Am agenda and all the immigration that's going on. They're trying to divide us again so that we don't look and see who the real culprits of this are. But I think we know who they are.
Okay, have a look at some of these inventions and technologies from the early 1900s. I don't know if the official unfolding of events and Earth's history lines up with some of these creations and devices. And I do wonder too, like those futuristic looking trains from back in the day, are we being put into an artificial reality that ignores, this is the Wardenclyffe Tower, Nikola Tesla's tower. Are we being put into an artificial thing where we're totally controlled and we're on this strange timeline? Like, whatever happened to free energy and magnetism and whatnot? Were they using those phones to talk face to face with a hologram? I don't know. Tall people, like, was there giants? This is a cool invention. They got to bring that back. And also, I don't know if these things were internal combustion engines or implosion, which is Victor Schauberger's technology. He wasn't a fan of internal combustion. He liked implosion and vortices and things. You got to check out Victor Schauberger's inventions. Truly shocking. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below and follow for more.
Yes, well, I would say we've been invaded. Maybe on a different timeline. Obviously, we've got the Mandela effect and all these weird things going on. But yeah, we definitely had all that technology, and it was taken away because it was free. They take them away, all these technologies, put them in the inventory, right? And then when they work out how to use them against us, how to use them for a control mechanism, they get re-released as an invention, right? From the inventory by an inventor. So it's just the same old, the same technology from the old world, but it's just been inverted, right, to be used against us. We've seen this with electric cars. They were around in the early 1900s, late 1800s, disappeared, and now we get them re-released as Teslas, full of monitoring devices.
This building was apparently built in 1386, which is roughly 700 years before the invention of the first ever power tool. 700 years before power tools. Do you believe that? I want you to ask yourself, without a power tool, or any kind of modern tools like spirit levels or anything, how would this be done? And the short answer is, without technology that's been lost, it wouldn't. This was created by a different society of people who had way, way, way more advanced technology than what we do. The detail on it, and it's perfectly symmetrical as well. It's exquisite. And it couldn't be replicated today. There is not a modern builder who could do this today. With a hammer and chisel, it would take hundreds of years. It's just not feasible. And these are the Tartarian buildings. This is the old world infrastructure. It's absolutely mind-blowing. I don't even know if the camera's doing it justice. It's absolutely incredible. And I'm about to go inside. Wow. It's absolutely amazing. I've never seen anything like this in my life. All of these buildings, look, that's a separate building there. I'm in awe of this. This is amazing. Whoever built this did it with beauty in mind. They weren't doing it to a deadline or because they had a boss telling them that they need to get the job done. This was created by magical beings. It definitely wasn't done without power tools in 1386.
What do you think? Was that built 700 years ago with, you know, the history line that we've been given with hammer and chisel and basically unskilled labor? You know, do you think that's even possible, or do you think it's a totally different tech and built by a civilization that was advanced but has been wiped from our story? Turn into his story, right? And how big was that? How's the size of that thing? Do you think that's for giants because it was built for giants, or do you think it's because they were frequency machines and just have a bigger collection chamber, for want of a better word? Let me know your thoughts.
She fires out negatively charged silk thread into the positively charged atmosphere. Opposite forces attract, pulling her up, up, and away. Heading high, riding the wind, even cruising the jet stream, she can travel for thousands of miles. By ballooning, they've colonized every corner of the Earth.
Did you know flying spiders make their own little parachutes and are using electrostatics to rise, right, to get some height? I didn't know that. Yeah, and I think we're finding out more and more, you know, every day that all of the animals around us, the insects, everything, you know, they are much more in tune with the true electromagnetic nature of this realm. And they are using it. You know, it's like the bumblebee, right? It's too heavy to fly with the wing size it's got, but no one told the bumblebee. And so they think that that is to do with frequency and the humming of the wings, and it's levitating. And there's many, many other creatures that are doing these types of things.
Have y'all heard what's going on in Italy? No, you haven't. You know why? Because Donald Trump and Larry Ellison and the Saudis have decided that we are not privy to what's going on in Italy. You know why? Because they don't want us to do that here. They don't want to show us that it fucking works. So this government is absolutely stealing from us. Left, right, giving all of our money over to the I Israel country, Donald Trump's best friend, right, said it yesterday. There's no better country to us than the United States because we're the golden calf, right? Italy, 75 plus cities have said, fuck the government. They have not worked. They have not shopped. They've not bought anything. They've not sent their kids to school. They are fucking shutting down the economy in Italy, and they don't want us to know about that here because that shit works. If we stop feeding the corporate machine that donates to the government and politics to make it swing their way so that they can be rich, then it doesn't work. But we cannot get together enough here to absolutely fucking do it. Or I will say this: there's a lot of people who I could not afford to not go to work for a week. I could not afford I could afford not to buy food for and stuff for a week because I have enough here, but I could. There's millions of us who one day off of work and we're facing homelessness. You know, because we're in an economy right now where we are working to keep the roof over our head, the lights on, the food and the water going in our houses, and that's it. Okay, so yeah, they are banning any of us from seeing what's going on in Italy. They're protesting in over 75 fucking cities in that country. And meanwhile, our dude's talking about how their president was begging to take a picture and how he should get a restraining order even though she's in Italy and he's here. Right? But yeah, we need to wake the fuck up. This has happened in several other countries and it has worked. You need to bankrupt the fucking machine. You need to stop feeding the machine, aka the government, the capitalists, the money for them to keep killing people, keep denying people and oppressing people and enriching themselves. What the fuck? Go look up Italy.
That clip was a couple of months old, but I did have a look and there's still stuff going on in Italy, and it has been all year, you know, actually started last year. And it's true. I don't know that it's, you know, just Donald Trump and the I country and the Saudis. It's Reuters, right? All news pretty much goes through Reuters. And then you have all the social media stuff that's obviously owned by the same small hat people. And they censor everything. They don't want us seeing all this other stuff. They give us, you know, enough space by the looks of it, because there's a lot of good stuff coming out, right, on platforms like YouTube and TikTok and Insta. And, you know, so I always wonder, how does that get through? But I don't think they have total control, but they definitely have control of what's coming in from overseas and certain stories. And like that lady said, that is going on a lot around the world, but they just don't show us anymore. I remember we used to get stories about other countries. Like, you don't get them now unless it's a fire or a flood or a tidal wave. Have you noticed that? It's crazy. And at the end, yes, the government, all they do is steal our money and use it to try and wipe us out, pretty much. So what do we do here? What are your thoughts? What's the way forward?
I cannot tell you how friggin' shocked I am that so few people know about the shutdown in Italy. I am blown the hell away. Do you know how many people were in the comments going, I knew nothing of this? It wasn't on any legacy media. It wasn't even on my social media feed. This is exactly what they want. This level of control the narrative. Do you think they really want us to know that an entire country shut down in protest? Everybody united, got together and said, we are not doing this anymore? They don't want that. And I am blown away that so many people did not know about Italy's shutdown. I'm telling you, go look it up. That shit is powerful as hell. And I promised I would not make any more political posts. My husband is not going to be happy with me. But we have to speak up. And this is the level of FAFO that we need to have. Every time, this is what we need, what Italy is doing right now.
I think that is the ultimate answer. Together we're powerful. We need to come together and do this thing, and in the process, starve the governments of money, you know, basically. And, you know, I think we're getting close because, you know, like we saw in the last video, you know, a lot of people are very close to being homeless, right? They can't pay their bills or anything. They're, you know, so close to the line. So, you know, soon, you know, people are going to lose a job or something's going to happen, and that's going to put them on the edge of basically not paying the government, right? And I think, it's an interesting time we're in, right? Because all of this stuff, it seems really bad and everything, but when you look at it from a bigger picture, what's it doing? All the things that the government are trying to push, the elites, what it seems to be doing is, one, waking a lot of people up, and two, exposing what's going on and what has always been going on, right? Because we are in the apocalypse, which means the great unveiling, the lifting of the veil. So we're now seeing through the veil, and we're recognizing things that have always gone on. And so that to me is the great awakening, or the great awarening, maybe.
This might be the most important video you ever watch on social media. And no, I'm not exaggerating, and this isn't clickbait. You'll understand exactly what I mean by the end of the video. Many of you know exactly what's happening right now. They are trying to destroy us. They've been trying to destroy us for 7 years now, and they are ramping up their efforts to the extreme. We have been disempowered and disenfranchised in every single traditional way where we used to have leverage against the system. Fortunately, there is always one thing that we can do, and it's the one thing we should have always been doing. It is the thing that is the most powerful. Before I share this technique, understand that this is the big secret that they don't want anybody to know. They don't want you to understand the power that you have. So I'd appreciate it if you liked, shared, commented, reposted, did anything you could to get this video out, because it's not going to be seen by very many people organically. We must collectively manifest the world that we're fighting for. This will require us to do two things in particular. Firstly, to use our love, compassion, courage, and desire for justice to dream the world we want to see into existence. The more specific you can be, the better. So, for instance, imagining fruit forests everywhere, hydroponic towers in every city, so that nobody ever goes hungry and food is essentially free. Think of all the elements of this world. Try to go beyond the general of, the world's going to become a better place, things are going to turn around soon. No, imagine everything, every possible thing. Imagine justice being real justice. Imagine that criminals don't run the world, etc., etc. Take all the things that are evil in the world right now and turn them upside down. Imagine the counter to that. Imagine the antidote to that. Secondly, we must dream all of these evil forces out of existence. So in the same way that you're imagining this beautiful world that could be, you must also imagine all the people that are keeping us in this place and stopping that world disappearing from existence. Every day, when you get up in the morning and go to bed at night, just spend 5 to 10 minutes dreaming up that new world and imagining these people disappearing, fading away. There's going to be many people that see this video that are well versed in magic and understand its effects on the real world. There will also be many people that aren't familiar with it and don't believe that it's real. All I ask those people is to keep an open mind and give it a shot. I mean, because is anything else working right now? You might as well give it a shot. So please, if you're maybe on the fence or don't believe, all I ask is for you to open your heart and mind for a moment. Understand the situation that you're in, or that we're in, and ask yourself, like, if there was anything within reason that I could do to help save the world, would I do it? I hope that answer is yes, and if it's yes, then I hope that you join us. Let's try to stay consistent. I understand there's going to be days that you forget, or you're just really not feeling like doing anything, and it just feels like the weight is really heavy on you. There are forces at work that are going to try to stop you from doing this. But just try to be persistent, try to be consistent, and know that there are other people that are fighting this battle with you. We must try to dream the world into existence, because it's not just the magical effects. When you put your mind to that, you're telling your subconscious that's what you want. And you'll begin doing things in the real world that have the same positive effect. And we must dream these evil monsters out of existence. We need to learn as good people how to make tough decisions, how to do tough things. One of the biggest issues we have right now is that we've sort of been pushovers as good people. We must find our teeth, and this is how we do it.
Yes, well, again, I do believe that we create reality through our thoughts and our intentions and our actions. And dreaming is a big part of that, whether you're awake or asleep. But yeah, what do you think of that? And are you going to do it?
The book 1984 by George Orwell exposes the fact that the rulers of our world are lying about what the stars are. Here's a passage where the main character Winston is talking to a government agent named O'Brien. Winston exclaimed to O'Brien, "But the whole universe is outside us. Look at the stars. Some of them are a million light years away. They are out of our reach forever." O'Brien rebutted Winston's declaration by explaining. "What are the stars?" said O'Brien indifferently. "They are bits of fire a few kilometers away. We could reach them if we wanted to, or we could blot them out. The Earth is the center of the universe. The sun and the stars go round it." O'Brien continues on, saying, "Do you suppose it is beyond us to produce a dual system of astronomy? The stars can be near or distant, according as we need them. Do you suppose that our mathematicians are unequal to that? Have you forgotten? Doublethink."
Yes, 1984, and that was written in the 40s too. You know, when all this stuff was starting, all the UFO, the alien stuff. You know, that whole narrative was starting to be brought in, which is interesting. And you know, of course, like we know that the only way that they can explain or prove that these stars are, you know, millions of light years away is with their massive equations that no one understands, right? They baffle people with bullshit, basically. That's their plan, right? That's how they get away with this. And then they make it all very, you know, spectacular and like this great, amazing adventure. And, you know, they get people emotionally attached to it as well. But yeah, interesting little excerpt there from 1984.
We have Nicholas Copernicus holding a compass. We have Kepler holding a compass. We have Isaac Newton holding a compass. And we have Galileo all holding a compass. Kind of reminds me of the compass in Square. Now, why is it that all of these people that took part in inventing the heliocentric model, they're all holding a compass? Well, because they know the truth. You see, a compass is for drawing a circle. So it's symbolic of the circle of the earth. Not the sphere of the earth, not the potato of the earth, the circle. And the square is for drawing straight lines. And then you can create right angles. And the cube. You see, Plato discovered that every single thing that manifests into material form has to follow specific mathematical limitations. And the cube is essentially the simplest way of representing how things are limited in this physical universe. Beauty is not something that is random. Things manifest under specific mathematical limitations. Symmetry, proportion, and specific relationships between numbers that form different shapes create beauty in the physical world. G is the 7th letter in the alphabet, and that's why we have G in the center of the compass in Square, because we have 7 primary colors. We have 7 classical planets. We have 7 musical notes. So 7 is the number of God. And the God of this world is the God of geometry. And all of the ancient cultures understood this. They didn't make these beautiful structures by just randomizing them. They constrained them according to specific mathematical limitations. That symmetry, those mathematic limitations, made these structures beautiful. So the God of this world puts us under this limitation of geometry in order to make a beautiful physical world. The earth must be flat. I made this video for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, you know, we see this in all the old world buildings, right? The symmetry, the geometry, and of course, frequency, when it's expressed as a shape, makes perfect geometry, right? Well, when you hit the good frequencies, you get perfect geometry. And, you know, in between those frequencies, when they're not the good ones, you just get this jumble of mess. You can see that in, you know, through cymatics and also through the work of Dr. Emoto. But yeah, I would agree. Everything's based on, you know, frequency, which expressed physically is geometry and symmetry. And, you know, as far as those people who like their Freemasonry go, I would say that, you know, that they stole all the good knowledge, right, from the old world during the invasion, and they still have it. Of course, you know, you can use this stuff with bad intention, which clearly they are, but I do believe that they really understand how this whole place works, and they're using it against us.
This was the plan the whole time.
Hey everyone. Hey everyone. I just wanted to quickly make this video to prove to you that we can no longer trust anything that we see with our eyes. We can't trust images that we see on social media. We can't trust videos. We can't trust our friends. We can't trust the news. We can't trust anything or anyone. So be careful out there.
What if nothing the last few years has been real? Even sicker, what's coming next?
That was a bit scary. Don't buy into the fear, guys. And this is all for entertainment purposes only. But AI is getting crazy. Like I've been noticing it, you know, all over YouTube. You know, like watching martial arts stuff, and there's so much AI, and it's good. It looks real. And then, you know, in ads that pop up, you know, they've got people now, and they're just totally AI, but they look real. It's getting scary out there. We really need to, you know, just use discernment, I guess. Be autodidactic. Be self-educated. Don't believe everything that you're told. Just take it on as a bit of information, a reference point, and then as you build information on that topic, you come to your own perspective and your own conclusion.
The lust to control other human beings is a story as old as time. There's a very strong drift in the direction of globalization, of the ultimate centralization of control in the hands of unelected officials, supranational organizations.
They want all of the resources of the world in their pocket.
The bigger picture is that an attempt is underway now to collapse liberal democracy and replace it with global technocracy.
This is a coup. They're saying we can control with rules. We don't need currency anymore.
It's like an inverted prism. You are supposedly free to roam about, but everything you want to access is behind lock and key.
The potential for social control is gigantic and potentially irreversible.
They plan to commandeer land, reduce farming, and radically change the food we eat, transform the supply of electricity, and then dictate how we use it, and replace currency with a system of credits. All three strategies are built on the premise of a climate crisis caused by carbon dioxide.
I do not think there's a climate crisis, and I base that on all the evidence and the climate data sets that we build to answer questions just like that. The government is very clear that they want a catastrophic story.
There is no single science paper that proves conclusively that humans control all or most of the global climate.
Europe's mad dash towards net zero is effectively economic suicide. Politicians are purposely impoverishing ordinary people, purposely deindustrializing Europe.
It's just tremendous amounts of damage in the name of saving the planet. It does make you ask, what is it we're actually saving if we're paving it over?
I think what we're dealing with here is actually a global war on agriculture.
When you look at how many farms are selling out, we're walking into food shortages.
If I can switch everybody from real food to pharma food, then 100% of the agriculture industry can go through my publicly traded stocks, and I have complete control.
This is the biggest public relations scam in the history of the world. But it's far more than that. It's a blueprint. It is the action plan.
All life on Earth is going to be radically changed.
Everything will be monitored. The environmental consequences of every human action.
The general population cannot fathom the psychopathy of the vision that they're facing.
Once the digital ID is in place, it's game over for humanity.
Wow. And that's not to spread fear or anything like that, guys. That, you know, as far as we can tell, I can tell, all of that stuff's happening, right? We see it all around us, right? You know, data centers, AI, the whole food thing, you know, chemtrails, poisoning the water, like Trans Am agenda. It's crazy, right? It's everywhere. And I don't believe, you know, the last quote was, you know, once it happens, we can't get out of it. I don't believe that. but I also believe it's better to not get into it. So, we are definitely getting close to crunch time. So, what do we do here? Of course, we all know that if we come together, and join up and refuse to, play their game, then it really is over for them. But, I think we're all asking ourselves, how long is that going to take? Are there any other options? I would love to hear your thoughts on it. At this point, my view is the options are just to back out and become less reliant on the system. As long as we rely on the system for everything, then, we're totally dependent on it. And so that's how they can do all this stuff. They can charge us, license fees and even speeding fines because we need our car to get to work, to make money, to do all this stuff, right? So, if you start growing your own food, look at different food sources, collect your own water, things like this, start backing out, generate your own electricity, then, they can't threaten you by messing with the food, turning off your electricity, all this kind of stuff. So that's sort of where I am at the moment is we all need to start backing out of this and become more self-sustainable and less reliant on the system. But let me know your thoughts and what are you doing at the moment? I would love to hear. Leave it in the comments. And there you go, guys. That is another one done and dusted. Hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please, I would appreciate if you hit the like button. Leave me your comments, even hype it up and share it around. All helps, this video get out. Obviously, a lot of this content is not being promoted out by YouTube. So any help you can give me, I would fully appreciate. And thank you to everyone who does support me. I do appreciate you. I know a lot of you out there, watch every single video. Always leave your likes and your comments, and that really does help this channel and these videos. So thank you very much. And as always, guys, stay awesome because you are. We got this. And I'll talk to you on the next upload. Bye for now.
La cosa no son cuando tú digas, te lo estoy diciendo, camina, camina.
Zoom, 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 zoom. I'm zooming in my room. My zoom is off forever.
So he is really making me laugh.
Wow!
Saria Maria.
Okay.
Oh, get them
Stop, Lolo.